Feel incredible!
It's not a cartoon, it's anime!
Coronavirus got our lungs on that one, guys. We got our lungs.
Yeah, I know. I felt short of breath like a motherfucker, man. It's hot as hell in my room. I'm nervous.
Andrea's on like a meeting in the other room. They're gonna be like, "What the hell is going on in your apartment?"
Yeah, it's funny because I'm always nervous because my girl, right, she's in the other room too, and I'm like, oh man, she's gonna so judge me for this shit.
I know.
What's happening? We got company moving in with us soon, so.
Oh, so it's going down?
Yeah, it'll be today actually. Yeah, so anyways, welcome to another episode of Animeshun. The squad is back.
What up?
Myself, Rob, Brennan.
What up?
Ice. We're all here, man.
We're all here. We've been all here.
And you know what we do here at Animeshun Podcast, baby. We review anime. We have debates. We have arguments about anime. This is what we do, man. We love this shit. And this is we get the whole squad back after like last week. Ice was here late.
Late as a mug. Ice. How is Ice late to a virtual meeting? How you gonna act like he wasn't late? You were late.
No, man.
You literally texted the group and said, "My bad, I'll be there in a minute."
I never said that.
Am I crazy, y'all? Like,
You might be crazy.
Hold on.
He didn't say here.
There's no admission of guilt.
But he said out here. Yeah. No, this right here shows you Ice's logic. He was literally 10 minutes late. He sat there and was like, "What are you talking about? I'm not late."
He said, "Here I come."
I said, "Here I come." That wasn't no 10
What time?
minutes.
Okay, what time was that? And what time was that at?
12:04.
And we were supposed to be here at what time?
In the room yet.
What time were we supposed to be here? What time were we supposed? Ain't nobody asking for your
wrapping
excuses, fam. What time were you supposed to be here?
I had a work call.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Ice, you know what my dad used to always tell me?
What?
Excuses are like assholes. We all got one. They all stink.
That's not it.
We don't want.
What are y'all acting? You acting your age.
What, on time? Because we're on time.
Fatherly advice.
Coming with all that advice. Well, back in my day,
That's what I'm
if you
supposed to
were
do.
on time, you was late.
You were 15 minutes late.
You young whippersnapper. See how as I pull my pants up, as I pull my sweats up. Yeah, you young
Where your
whippersnapper.
suspenders at?
If I can afford them right now, I'll go get some. All right, but yeah, this week we're gonna keep going with Iron Blooded Orphans. This time we're doing episodes 16 through 20. Hope y'all been following along with us, man. This has been a cool journey so far. I don't have.
Oh, hold on. Since I want to talk shit, I just want to say that this is the greatest fucking anime podcast.
Oh my gosh.
The greatest fucking anime podcast in the history of the world. Ever.
In the history of the world.
Now it's the history of the world. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That statement just keeps getting stronger.
I just added to it since you want to talk shit.
Thank you, Ice.
I really don't give a shit about it. It doesn't bother me no here nor there. Brennan hates this shit.
point.
I mean, it's whatever, man. We out here.
Brennan doesn't even look at the screen when you start talking about it.
The most
puts his head down.
person doesn't want to take confidence in something that he's a part of.
I don't know if I would call myself the most braggadocious person on this podcast, specifically because of what you do every single week. But we out here.
That's true.
You literally hopped on somebody's live to challenge them in 2K, and you not braggadocious.
That's not saying I'm winning. That just says I just want to make a friend and play video games with him. What's wrong with that?
No, that's definitely not it. She's like, "Do you play 2K?" Oh, you don't? I'm off the chat. Like, what? That was your.
Yeah, we know what your intention was, Brennan.
I'm just saying I don't see a brag in what you just described. Sir.
That's definitely a brag.
Can you present some facts?
Yeah, that's a brag. You're not going to do something like that. Come on, somebody's chat.
I just really enjoy the game, sir.
And what you're not. That's not the case.
I don't enjoy 2K.
You've openly challenged people over this podcast several times.
What up, Rob?
Oh yes, he has.
I'll challenge people all the time because I love competition. How is that braggadocious?
You're braggadocious.
How is that braggadocious?
Because you say I will kill everybody in that. You don't necessarily. You on top of the challenge. You say I will destroy anybody who wants it.
I mean,
That's
Brennan
braggadocious.
Brennan, just to have to back up Ice here, Brennan, when we talked about, we did a push-up contest when we shot Tony Baker's special.
You always bring this up.
and Brennan came in there talking the most shit, like he's gonna outdo us, and he came in last. So
That's the thing too. Like he came on Keon's stuff. Who plays basketball collegiately? He played collegiately. Saying, "Do you want to play 2K?" Bro, get out of here. Play real basketball. Like stop.
He doesn't even play real basketball anymore. And what's wrong with wanting to play video? Let's get into this, man. Y'all over here just hating because I want to compete with people.
We're
What's wrong
gonna
with-
have a whole 20 minutes.
I'm
20
just
minute
saying,
segment of nothing. Yeah.
What's wrong with trying to bond with people? I don't get it. Can we just get into the
that's-
episodes?
That's. I feel like that's Brendan's way on how to bond. Is to challenge you in something.
Definitely.
And I think it also maybe
for
shows
sure.
that he has some type of respect and or love for you. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
braggadocious.
that's what I-
Flawed ass.
That's what I get from it. But anyways, let's get on to it. Episodes 16 through 20. Rob, want to lead us off?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, of course, help me out if I drop anything, but because these few episodes were all over the place with a lot of flashbacks in these 5 episodes. This one starts with one, and Fumitan, who has been revealed as the betrayer here. That she's been sold. She sold out Kudelia. She's thinking back on old times about when they were back on Mars. We'd heard a little bit from her that she hated the look in Kudelia's eyes. That she was so bright-eyed and honest, and she was like, well, maybe if I show her how things really are, that'll scare her into kind of giving up.
Take you to the hood.
She does.
That's like
She does.
Like he go take a girl that's like, you keep liking thug niggas. Let's take you to the hood and see if you really like them. He's gonna turn her on even more, man. What you talking about?
Yeah, so she takes her there and is kind of showing her around. Is this where they don't go into the whole abandonment thing here though, right? Or was that's later on?
I think it was this episode, but not right away.
It was definitely It was definitely this episode.
Yeah.
So anyway, we see that she's taken her to some bad areas, some of the slums on Mars, and Kudelia has kind of been trying to show Fumitan hey, check out these books, definitely a misunderstanding of what their relationship is. Kudelia thinks they're cool. They're not as cool as she thinks.
She's very optimistic about the coolness.
Exactly.
She doesn't. And it's not even her fault. She doesn't even know. This lady was assigned to her, and the lady probably immediately hates her because you came from a privileged background, and you find out that she really didn't, and she's just kind of bushy eyed, hey, let's be friends.
Yeah.
She's over here on some fuck you, little girl. You're not me. You ain't from the hood like me. You ain't real like me out here in these streets.
Well, I'm sure she's probably seen a lot of people that want to help and then just get in there and just see what a mess it is and just all right, fucking never mind.
In real life here now.
Very much in real life. And that kind of happens here. This is another in the present time on the show. It's another point where kind of the rubber's meeting the road. There's this whole these riots are going on. The Dort unions are now organizing. They've been armed now by Tekadon, and they're starting their main march down Main Street. Brandishing their weapons, and right now, so far, Gallahorn's not doing anything. The police are all kind of standing off to the side. Nobody, and the leader of the union's just all right, we don't want to be the ones that fire first. We want to negotiate. Let's try not to spill any more blood. Maybe we can get them to the table. Hopefully Biscuit's brother is out there helping us. And they cut to Biscuit's brother, who's pleading with the leader of the company that the union workers are working for, just hey, let's meet with them. Let's negotiate. And this dude is already we're past that at this point, and goes to meet with Gallahorn people, and they're don't worry, we'll take care of this. We've got a plan.
You can't trust him you couldn't trust him anyways, man. Y'all open fire and kill they people out the gate, man. What you expect?
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly. Yeah, this is the evil empire. Gallahorn is they are definitely the evil empire.
All
here.
day. All day.
But the whole door, everything's getting shut down. Fumitan, it seems it seems like she's actually trying to get away from this whole attempt to assassinate Kudelia. She's just walking away from everything, and she's trying to get to the spaceport, but everything gets shut down. They're just no people in, no people out. Gallahorn is just trying to keep this contained. They're even trying to keep Galeo and Ein out of the battlefield. They're listen, guys, you don't want to get mixed up in this. I forget the bureau they reference, but basically their FBI is handling the situation. And those guys fight dirty. You don't want to get involved. But because everybody's locked in, so are all the people from Tekadon. And they're trying to like get out, but the turbines can't get involved because the Taiwas can't get into a direct conflict with Galahorn. They're kind of just on their own. But the Tekadon people are trying to like, all right, like what can we do to try to help our people out down there? They understand they're in lockdown, so they start getting all the new mobile suits ready. You got Shino, who we've met a few times. He hasn't been like super important, but definitely been getting a lot more camera time, and especially in these episodes. Seems like he's getting outfitted for the Greys that Akihiro had been piloting, because Akihiro now is getting used to his new Gundam frame, the reformed one that they had taken from the Brewers. And he gets plugged into his Gundam for the first time, and just like Makazuki, he's just bleeding from the nose and like kind of getting used to all that data input or whatever is coming through all those cables in his back.
I love it. I love that they're actually expanding, because this is showing us the growth of the show. Like, you started off with 1, and now you got 2, 3, and they expand them more. And these motherfuckers is pretty skilled too.
Yeah, they're pretty serious.
Yeah, they are. They're no joke. But back on the Dort, you've got, Kudelia, not Kudelia, Fumitan is trying to get off of the Dort, and she gets confronted by these two guys in suits. These are Noblest Gordon's assassins that are there to kill Kudelia, and they like put her up on a fucking wall, by the neck, and are just like, what are you doing? Like, get back out there and finish the job. Like, or we will take you out just like we're going to take out her. Like, this is, we're not here to mess around. Make sure she gets basically caught up in the protests that are happening right now. So she heads back down there to try and, I guess, look for Kudelia. And Kudelia, of course, is still out there looking for her as well, and sees her in the street and tries to connect with her. But she gets recognized, actually correctly for the first time, by some of the union workers that are there protesting. They're just like, oh yeah, like, get up on stage, say something. Like, it means so much to us if you could say something as like the maiden of the revolution. Yeah.
Shut your ass up, man.
And she is like, just like, whoa, I don't know anything. Like, her whole thing has been about like Martian independence.
Right.
And now she's being made the face of this larger revolution against all of like the different parts that, Earth has control over. And she's like, whoa. Like, I don't even know your situation, I honestly can't speak to it. But as they're getting, close to the closer and closer to the building, the Galahorn plan comes into effect, and there's an explosion inside the building, which they blame on the union workers. But
dirty motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, nobody in the union fired. So they just basically use this as an excuse to just unload on the crowd.
They mowed down these motherfuckers with no regard.
Yo, they lit them.
Like, it wasn't even... that was like, y'all played what was it, Modern Warfare 2? When they opened fire, and what's the name of that mission, and they just fucking opened fire on that airport?
I remember that. That's Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember
that. Was a big moment. It was just like, yo!
You just slaughtered everybody. That's what I thought of when I saw that.
Yeah.
That shit was wild, and they did not care, man. This makes me nervous about... Not afraid, I guess, but nervous about the times that we're in right now, to be honest with you. It's like, watching this anime is kind of crazy. Just
very timely. Very timely.
The classism in this shit, all that stuff. But like, just seeing like a week or so ago, there was like mad tanks rolling through I think like Chatham or something like that, like on a train. And I'm sure people were like scared, like, what the fuck, the military coming out here?
Yeah.
I've seen that before too, just when everything was okay. So I was like, what the fuck? So I bet it's like a big what the fuck when, all this stuff going on. When you got like policemen guarding toilet tissue, like, that shit is crazy.
Yo, for the record, I bought toilet tissue yesterday for the first time since the virus.
Congratulations.
Found some guys.
Oh,
I'm rich. I'm rich.
That shit is gold.
I'm rich, fam. We out here.
Bro, just go to Vallarta. They have it there all the time.
No, didn't I?
Yeah.
I'm rich.
But yeah, I mean, there's precedent for that kind of stuff, like, even in our own history. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar at all with the story of Kent State back in the 60s, but like a bunch of students were protesting Vietnam on this campus in Ohio, and they don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, like, the National Guard that was, guarding the protest just opened fire on the students, and like 4 people died.
Whoa.
Yeah, they were all unarmed protesters. 4. and a bunch, and I believe several more were wounded.
AIM is trash.
I don't even know if they care, but here's the thing too. Well, yeah, I mean that's true. They only hit 4 people. And that's terrible, but good at the same time. That only 4, but it's
luckily,
luckily, yeah, it's not good. Luckily, but that's the scary part about it is when you go to protests, like that's what I be feeling. That's why you don't see me out there a lot of times on a lot of these protests because like I don't trust the cops. It's not the protesters necessarily. It's the cops sending somebody as a fake protester, and then all of a sudden they throw a firebomb at the police, so the police can just spark off and start just mowing down people. I don't trust these motherfuckers, man.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it's
I was
show
in St.
right
Louis
here.
and all this stuff was going on in Ferguson. I was just like, all right,
Yeah.
I go down here. I'll be down here for a minute, but I'm like, nah, this shit about to go left. So, this shit about to go left. Y'all, I mean, that's now that you say that, I feel like that people do really do that. Like they have a mole that's like, I'm a drop kick the shield.
If you do, and I know you're gonna get back to this, Rob, but if you just look at a lot of the Bloods and Crips stuff, a lot of times there was cops going into Blood and Crip neighborhoods doing fake not real drive-bys, but there were cops posing as the opposite gang and then dropping their red rag or blue rag, like by accident. So they're like, all right, we gotta retaliate. Yeah, you don't know, man. Bro. Nah.
Systemic.
It is. So after this, the smoke starts to clear, and it's everybody's been mowed down by this barrage of bullets. Like all the mobile workers are just totally exploded. And the only person that seems to have survived is Kudelia, because the girl that had pulled her out of the crowd, took the bullets for her and is just like, thank you for saving me. For me to die like in the arms of the Maiden of the Revolution, like this gives me purpose. And this is definitely a big moment for Kudelia as she's starting to realize her importance to people. Like maybe this isn't what she originally set out to do, but she sees what she means to all these people. And as she's sitting there, Fumitan is watching this happen from the distance. And she knows that, if this is going to happen, now's the time. Because, like, the assassins are watching the news. The newscasters are seeing Kudelia out there and, like, got a camera on her. And, like, this is becoming, like, a big thing. And they are going to make her, like, this is...
They're going to JFK her.
Yeah, exactly.
When I saw that, I immediately... I mean, I might not be saying that, I guess, politically correct. But, like, that's immediately what I thought, because remember that was the plan. They said get her out into the public so they can pretty much kill her in the public with all the cameras watching and shit like that, and you're gonna get a death of like a martyr in front of everybody on TV.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is Noblest Gordon seems to want to make Kudelia some sort of martyr for a larger movement, but literally as they're lining up the shot. Fumitan runs out and just throws herself in front of the bullet.
She's not all bad.
Crazy timing.
She's not all bad, right?
Hey, let me tell you something. When she was making her little speech, I ought to be like, hey, get your ass off me, motherfucker. Get your ass. You goes in there, you getting blood all over my shirt, man. I just bought this shit.
I just bought this shit.
We just went to the store. Yeah.
Exactly. We just went down to the mall and got hooked up, man.
That's always funny when people just have the most to say when they about to die, and they just have enough time to say what they need to say.
Let me just get this all off my chest.
Yeah. Immediately after they die.
But this is a point where we get a little bit more of from Fumitan about like her side of the story, about how she did leave. Kudelia on purpose, like in the slums, like just trying to show her, like how scary it could be. Like this is bigger than you, to try to break her spirit, but it didn't work. And
she's out there feeding candy because she's seen children like around her age. She's giving them like little candy, little food, and then you saw this grown ass man. Oh, give me some too, motherfucker. And then that's when shit got real. And I was like, where old girl at? But I was like, I didn't realize she purposely left her. And she saw the innocence. Like she really wants to help people. This isn't about coming down here, gentrifying. She wants to go out there and actually help some people out.
Yeah, she does. And so she tells her that, like, you reminded me of the woman in the book that you showed me that one time, that the woman that led the revolution, that, somebody that can be, the leader of the people and give them hope. And that lands with Kudelia. She's just like, oh shit, maybe that is who I'm supposed to be in all this. Cause she has been looking more and more for her purpose in Tekadon and this larger fight. And how does she help?
How did she not know that was her in the beginning? Like, they set her out to do that. So how do you all of a sudden get this epiphany that this is what you're supposed. This is your whole thing. Like you've been this. You've been.
It's like no. I think it's a matter of scope. Ice is that like what she was looking to do was like originally she's like I'm here for like the Martians independent. And it's not even the independence. It's more so about the rights of a particular mineral. It's called half metal. That's the only thing she was fighting for from the beginning. She's like I saw injustice in the world, and that's the only injustice she saw. Because as we saw from Fumatan, she grew up in a very, very, very structured childhood where she didn't get to see the world. She didn't get to see how people were suffering. She didn't get to see a lot of the things. And so now her eyes are being open to everything. And she's like, oh, I'm not fighting for just these half metal rights, or half, whatever it's called. I'm fighting for everyone's rights that's being oppressed. I am doing a revolution. She didn't think she was a maiden of a revolution. Like people were saying it, but she's like, I'm just trying to get these people these rights because they need this. Just like she wanted to give those kids the candy. So now she's just like, oh shit, like these, what are they called? The colonies. Like, wow, I can't believe how they're living like this. I need to help them. And now she's seeing like, there's so many people suffering just like the people on Mars everywhere. And they're all being oppressed by the same people, Galahorn. So she's just like, yo, like we gotta like, let's make things right because that's just who I am because of these, whatever, the eyes that Fumatan hated so much. So I don't think it's necessarily like, I don't think she fully understood what she stood for until like now. Because
and also she's a fucking child.
That too.
Yeah, everybody involved here is like late teens at the most.
Yeah.
But as Fumatan is dying, some of the guys from Tekadon on the ground, they've been seeing the smoke in the distance. They know, they've seen her on the TVs. They just happen to get there right there, and Mikazuki gets out there and is carrying Kudelia like off the battlefield, and Kudelia is reaching back for Fumatan, and he tells her, that's not Fumatan anymore.
She's gone. What's trash too? The cameraman kept all this shit going. They're like, nah, keep rolling, bro.
Man,
that's how it goes, man. That's just a regular cameraman.
The business. Man, yeah. But they at the very end, we do see some of the some of these puppet masters that have been pulling the strings are starting to come together. We even see that McMurdo, who leads Taiwaz, reaching out to Nobliss, kind of putting this all together. That I guess he must be behind all this, and he's kind of like, hey, let's join forces, and they kind of leave that off there to see where where that all goes in the next couple episodes. But now that Tekadon is all reunited and on the door, this next episode is about them trying to get out.
Yeah.
So after this massacre is broadcast all over the news, at least on the Dorts, shit starts going off everywhere. It's no longer just contained to Dort 3. All the workers everywhere just start completely rioting. They're like, doing raids on, the company assets, grabbing guns, grabbing mobile workers, grabbing, mobile suits and all this shit and trying to get out there. But what they don't realize is that this is also all part of Galahorn's plan.
Yep.
That their whole idea was to provoke them into conflict, so they would have an excuse to take them all out.
Does this not feel like the most government shit? Like,
oh hell yeah,
yo, like this.
Yeah, this whole thing gave me a little bit of anxiety, bro. Not not in the sense of like fully realness, but I was just like, this shit can happen.
It can happen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Well, the other thing is, please make sure you tune into Tony Baker's YouTube channel for Keenan Baker Conspiracies.
Thank you. Thank you for that plug right there, bro.
Yo, I mean, the thing is, you're living it right now, fam. You're over here like, this could happen. This is what we need to look out for. Wear the hats, y'all. Wear the hats.
And once all this, just real quick, once all this, this COVID stuff dies down, hopefully whenever it does, conspiracy theories will be back on. But I've been posting them in clips on my page. If you haven't caught up to it, go ahead, Art.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious. The hip hop plants were really funny. What was I gonna say? Oh, I think that's what scares me. Like, I love horror stuff. And I love like scary shit, but the stuff that really scares me and keeps me up at night is like stuff that can really be real, like that really happened to people. Like the Amanda Knox story. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but like,
I'm a little familiar with it.
Yeah, and she just woke up and her roommate was dead. It's like
what?
Shit like that scared me.
I don't know that story.
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, it was in Italy.
Yeah, it's in Italy. She's a foreign exchange student from like Seattle, and then she woke up one day, and then her roommate was murdered, and they pinned her with the crime because they said that she did it, but she was like, I didn't do it. But it's just like the fact that you can have, and she was in another country, so they're like, oh, this American came and killed one of our people, like, you're done. Like, so I think just stuff like that scares you because you can legit be It's like, damn, if I woke up one day in my dorm room and my roommate was dead, like, it's on me. Like, they're gonna be like, yeah, Ice did that shit. And it's like, no, fam, I didn't do it. Like,
And I'm gonna be
crazy.
if that's me, I'm gonna be panicking. Like, did I like sleepwalk and do some shit? Like, do I do that in my sleep? Like, do
and
I
that's the
wild
thing
out?
too. She ended up. I don't want to give it away, but she ended up like saying, "Oh yeah, maybe I." But like, no, you didn't fucking do it. But she ended up saying she did, and it's like, it's just a
She
whole
in jail.
bunch of.
I mean, sorry, I didn't give her the spoiler, but anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, but that's what. So to tie it into this is like I was watching this too, and like this is fairly close. Like I can do all the beams and the Brolys and the jutsus and shit, but like when my anime start having like shit that can possibly happen, it's like
Yep. My thing, I'm always afraid. Like I'm always like, yo, why would the government, not the government I don't trust. I'll say, why would the military, people in the military that are like our brothers and sisters, our uncles, whatever, right? Why would they sit down and murder people? Like if they'd be like, oh, y'all gotta murder everybody in the city of Los Angeles, and everybody tries to get over here, you gotta kill them. And they do it. Like that makes me like, would they really do that? Would they come to a sense and be like, we're not killing our fucking people?
yeah, I think
You know
it'd be
what
a
I'm
good
saying?
amount of. I think they know the people who would do it. Like that's why they do certain things.
Yeah.
It's like they start you off like, okay, do this, okay, do this, okay, do this. Like they see where people morals are at, and it's gonna be a lot of people. Like I would say, and no disrespect to the military, but I would say there is a good percentage of people in the military that would do that wholeheartedly, and that may be because mental illness or they PTSD or whatever it is. They might have not did that initially, but after 15, 20 years of murdering people, I mean, or being in combat, not necessarily murdering people, but being in combat, that shit, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody did a lot.
Well, I mean, in this situation particularly, it also is just like an us versus them thing, right? Like, hopefully with our own military, like you said, you know, Keenan, like that's our brothers and sisters, like that's people we know. Like if they've got people in the city of Los Angeles, they'd be like, well, I know people that live there. Like I'm not going to do that. But like if it's a situation where you're from Earth and you've been put on some like colony that you've been told all your life is less than and dirty, and they start like blowing you up, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'll fucking kill every single one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
it's true.
It's you know, when they turn people against each other, it's nasty. But yeah, so but this is turning into a massacre on the show. You know, the fleet, all the mobile workers are getting out there, and they're like seeing the Galahorn troops like coming in. They're just like, all right, like open fire, but you know the guns are jamming, or like their fuel meters say they're full, but all of a sudden they're out of gas. They're like, yo, what is going on?
Set up, suckers. It was set up.
It was so bad.
They got set up.
So bad.
And Tekadon is watching this down on the ground, and they're seeing this massacre happen, and you know some of them are just like, "Yo, we got to do something about this. Like, we can't just be here and watch this happen and just leave it behind." And Orga at first is just like, "I mean, we can't get involved. Like, we're not big enough, and like we rely on Taiwas and the turbines to help us out." And they told us not to get involved, but what really ends up, you know, and Mikazuki is also just like, I mean, I don't want to get involved either, I guess, but I also can't just like sit and stand by and just watch this happen. But it's Kudelia at the end of the day that really convinces him, you know, we have to do something about this. And at this point, she has gone like full Canute, you know, like
she's in it.
as far as her journey on this.
Yep.
She's like, I got to be a leader of the people. Like, you know, this fight isn't just about the people of Mars. It is about all of the people that Earth has control over. Like, everybody deserves rights, and so she's got a plan that they're working on to get them into, you know, in a little bit better position and how they can help out. And so they take off, and we see that news team nearby. They're being told by their bosses, "Hey, shut this shit down. Like Galahorn doesn't want this getting out. Like this is bad look for Galahorn. So you guys are done with your broadcast." But just as they're packing their stuff up, they see Kudelia and they recognize her from the shooting in the streets, and they chase her down. And they come up with a little plan that, hey, maybe these news people can help us out. They have their own dedicated, you know, emergency broadcast system. They have credentials that can get us out and maybe off this particular this colony for right now. So they team up with them basically for the price of an interview.
Do you think that they can, that seeing who you're fighting for, like seeing that person can, like, energize you and make you turn around and fight and stuff like that? Do you feel like, oh damn, this is our leader, let's get after it?
Yes. If you believe in your leader and there's somebody that you look up to, it's been proven many times in battle. That's the reason why George Washington would lead the charge. And the battles he would do is because, you know, if you're going to like a suicidal mission, you know, you might think it's suicidal. You guys are all the people that are like, we're expendable, we're pawns. Like, why would we do this? And then you see the person that's the king or the queen on the board moving out in front and saying, follow me. You know what I'm saying? The person that you've looked up to since the beginning. It's like, yo, like this person that I respect and look up to is either going to go out in a blaze of glory and be remembered forever, or they know something I don't. Either way, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's how Askeladd was too.
Oh yeah, Askeladd.
Yeah.
Oh, he was number one out there.
Askeladd was
taking the first hit.
He's about to. He had the hands. You know,
That's the thing too. I feel like it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same too. Like even in the workforce, it's like if you gotta like me as a manager and stuff. It's like when my team see me out there working or talking to a consumer or getting down like doing everything that they doing, they're like, oh fuck, you know, if I'm holding you accountable to it, you're gonna do it too. And it's like you're not leading from a throne, like you really out here in the field with your team. And it's like bet. So I mean, I never respected any supervisor or manager that didn't do that. Yeah. I couldn't, like anybody tell me what to do, I just didn't respect you and your work ethic. I don't care if you've been like, well, I put in 10 years. I don't give a fuck about your 10 years, bro. You ain't putting in your 11th year. So, like, that's all that matters to me is the now. It don't mean shit. So I always respected the supervisor. If I was like a supervisor like that, I'm going to get out. Because if as a leader, I looked at it like this too. It's two things. If you're somebody that's behind, you ain't gonna let that leader outwork you. Yeah. You're like, oh, you're considered the leader or the boss. Like, I can't let you outwork me. Right. I should be outworking you as the so-called associate or whatever the case may be. Right. So it makes those fighters want to fight even harder than their leader because of that. I think because of that reason. Yeah. That's that Leonidas. It's like, all right, shit. We it's only 300 of us.
What is your profession?
We're gonna go fight these Persians. There's a gazillion of them, but shit, he yelling
they got
at the top of his
though.
lungs. Like,
he died, but it's all right.
They died. It's all right.
Spoiler
Blaze of Glory.
Spoiler loving Keenan.
That movie's like 15 years old. Come
out of here. You ain't taking that.
You ain't seen 300 by now. Okay.
You ain't going. Yeah, it ain't. Yeah.
You're not gonna see it.
Yeah. That's it.
You're a dick, bro. You're trying to throw that on me. Spoiler and Keenan spoiling a movie from.
I can't believe you spoiled that, Keenan. That's so messed up.
He's gonna spoil Titanic next.
Yeah, right. Historical events too. So Orga and the rest they managed to get on a ship using the credentials from the news team, and they're on their way out to try to meet up with their ship, the Isarabi. And they've got this like little personal like transport thing that for Mikazuki, I guess he was gonna just like fly off on his own or something like that. But luckily, the old man engineer shows up with the ship and with the Gundam there for him, so that he can just get right into the action because Galahorn is like right there, fucking waiting for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And once they see Mikazuki's suit on the scene, Galeo and Ein are just like, well, we don't really want to get involved with this, but I mean, there's the dude we came to kill. Yeah. We got to get involved.
Well, to their credit, the whole time, Ein is pretty much just like, this is deplorable. The whole time he's like, I can't believe this is how we're fighting. Like, we have the bigger military, we have the bigger everything, and we're still like, to kill all these people, we're still going through and doing underhanded tactics to make it look like they provoked us. This is horrible.
I think what is coincidental is just like everybody was like, it's just a progression of, no, we're not going to get into it. And then Tekkadan was like, all right, we got to get into it. And then they was like, oh, okay, we got to get into it. Like, it was a progressive of everybody had to come in and start fighting all of a sudden. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, as more people got involved, like, did you bring in more other people that had, now they're involved. Like, we got shit with them. Like, so we have to get involved because they're involved. So
like a snowball.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But Mikazuki's out on the scene, just like taking these dudes that were massacring these unarmed workers. Mikazuki's paying them back in kind. Yeah. But once Galeo gets out there, he reveals that he's got a secret of his own. His family treasure is that they have their own Gundam suit. And it's a bit of a challenge for Mikazuki. It seems like, up against some of these regular mobile suits, Mikazuki can, handle it. But when it gets to like somebody faster, whether it's, that girl from the turbines or now it's Galeo and his new faster suit, like it's an issue for him.
He struggles with speed a lot.
Which is his. It's just like in boxing too. Some people struggle with what their strong suit is. Like when fast people meet other fast people, they're like, "Oh fuck, you can move like I can move." Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as it's starting to get a little bit, things are starting to turn on Mikazuki. But luckily, their ace in the hole comes through. Shino and Akihiro show up with rocking their new Gundam suit, and it's pretty dope. He's got like the giant shield. He's and they're getting after it too. Like they start to split off. Mikazuki is still fighting Galeo, but you've got Ein kind of facing off against Akihiro in his new suit, and Shino's kind of just like doing his best to hold off kind of the rest of the people from getting at the Isarabi.
I appreciate the love they giving these other characters.
Yeah, no, it's cool that that they are growing, and like it's nice to see them getting other suits out on the field, so it's not just Mikazuki, putting the whole team on his back every time.
Because honestly, in the beginning, I thought this was going to be the Mikazuki show. Like I thought it was just like, all right, go kill him. Like I thought it was going to be an Askeladd and Thorfinn type. Yeah, I thought it was going to be that, but it's definitely not that.
Yeah, and it's cool that they're getting all these like that. Not only are they bringing in these new suits, they're customizing them like to give them a cool new look. Like Akihiro's has got a new paint job, or Shino's got a new paint job with like this like angry shark face on it or whatever. Yeah. Akihiro's got like they've totally reformed his Gundam using some of the pieces.
Completely different.
Completely different.
You don't even. It's like they're just like, we just need to give this guy a new Gundam frame. So we're gonna take this old big purple thing and make it a whole different color. Take off all this shit. Like it's a whole different thing now, and it's cool.
They was mad that it was updated and stuff. He was like, "Get this is a disgrace."
Yeah, but Galeo actually gets a move in on Mikazuki. It is like basically stabbed him kind of like through his Gundam's like stomach area.
Isn't this the part where he's trying to like, yeah, I'm so and so. He's like, Gaga Goo Goo Gaga. He's like, making fun of his name.
Gally Galline.
Gally. What's your name?
You did that on purpose.
He's like, man, look, it's not gonna matter, bro, because you're gonna be forgotten anyway after I kill you. Like, he's like, I don't need to know your name, bro. Like that was so gangster. He's pretty much like, your name means nothing to me because it's gonna be a fucking not even a memory. You're dead.
You're part of the
and he's about to take him out when Ein swoops in at the last second and takes the blow for him and gets wounded and right as yeah. But Galeo's about to go back in on it when they get the order to hold back. And you've got the rest of the rest of Tekadon now back on the Isarabi, kind of waiting to see what the next move is as Galahorn's kind of pulled all their people back, and that's where that episode ends. The next one picks right back up where they are, as we're seeing now from inside the Isarabi. Gudelia is, just like, all right, like I know what I got to do. Like this is my moment. I'm gonna. It gets the news crew like all up on the bridge. It's just like, I want you to see what's happening here. Like interview me right here. And Nobliss Gordon, I guess, has come to some sort of accord with her. She's reached out to Nobliss and is asked him for a favor. He seems to have used some of his pressure, I think, in the African Union or one of the unions down on Earth, to basically get her broadcast everywhere. Not just on the Dorts, but down on Earth, on Mars, everywhere. She broadcasts and tells them exactly what is going on here, what Galahorn is doing, and like, hey, like I'm out here right now, and maybe they're gonna kill me in 2 seconds, but like I'm telling you this awful shit is happening, and if you guys want to take me out because I'm pointing out your dirty hypocrisy, like, go ahead. And
that part was so funny to me because everybody on the ship was like, "Yeah, we with you. Yeah, we with you." And it's like, "Wait, what?
What's he doing?
Oh, yeah.
Come after me and kill me then. Do it.
No, don't do that.
Hey,
we on this shit with you. Hey, you need to chill out."
Yeah.
I started dying laughing because everybody. Because in my head, I'm like, do they realize what she said? And then as soon as that happened, they was like, "Hey, fam,
wait a minute,
chill out." This is where I got some respect for her though, in the sense of a character, because I was just like, she was annoying me at a certain point.
Yeah.
And when she was looking for what's her name again? What was the lady?
Fumitan.
Fumitan. She was looking for her. I was just like, yo, man, fuck her. She's trying to get you killed, fam. Like, get up out of there. Yeah. And that's just my mentality. You try to get me killed, man. It's fuck you at that point. I can't be like, well, let's talk about it. No, you're gonna try to kill me.
Right.
This is when she was doing all this stuff, looking for her, running and stuff like that, I was just like, man, this is stupid. And then it all
her voice is trash because I watched the dub. Her voice on the dub, annoying.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's whatever. But like, I felt like her growth to this, and she made a smart move and a power move here.
Yeah.
Like you said, to becoming who she is. And doing this on TV, because I always felt like if somebody has like the whole, even like the Epstein thing, it's like, why keep it a secret? Just go on a fucking live or whatever the case may be. Like, here's what the fuck it is. Because even when it gets shut down, somebody gonna have a screen recorded anyways and keep putting it back up. Put them fucking secrets out, man. Say what's cracking.
Yeah, Snowden did that shit.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to do it, is to do it and be spontaneous, and that's what she did. And I had to gain a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, she brought it out into the light, and Orga turns to her and tells her, like, that was a huge gamble, and luckily for you, you fucking won.
Luckily for you and us,
right.
and the rest of us.
I can imagine. Couldn't you imagine Orga just like as soon as they started firing on the ship after they said that, just pulling a gun out and just shooting her in the head, like, it's like I just want to make sure that she didn't survive this because we're not going to survive it.
Just in case.
But yeah, so that works out, and Gallahorn pulls back for now. Like, she's at least protected from immediate murder, but you know they've got their machinations working in the background, trying to figure out another way to do it, which is exactly what Naze tells them as they're regrouping afterwards, and they're just like, all right, well, this was our plan to get down to Earth, to go to this space station, and then use one of the ships they have to get down to the planet, but we can't do that now because Gallahorn knows exactly where we are, and if we go over there, they're going to take us down. So they're trying to come up with a plan of what they're going to do. They don't have a lot of options when another ship approaches and hails them, and it's that masked person that we had seen down on the Dorts. And it was at this point I was just like, this is when my spider sense started to tingle, where I'm just like, that could easily be like some wig, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the hair was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So this person contacts them. This masked person that had, and she Kudelia recognizes them immediately as like, hey, you were around when Fumitan was telling me all about like her treachery or whatever. So who is this guy? He says that he works for the Montauk Group, which is another company that's I guess out and about.
Y'all watch Yu-Gi-Oh growing up?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
You did? You Brandon?
Yeah.
I forgot that dude's name. With that, he had that long hair with like the red suit. This is who he reminds me of with this wig
talking
on.
about Pegasus?
Pegasus.
Maximilian Pegasus.
Yeah, Maximilian Pegasus.
I was never gonna know that voice.
Yugi boy.
Yu-Gi-Oh was cool. It was all right. Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
It's just funny for me. It's just like the show had the same plot every episode though. Because it'd be like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Get into a crazy situation, like it's over, we're gonna lose. And he plots some kind of ancient card that nobody knew he had.
Yeah.
Throw it down, and the gods.
But don't get me wrong, Yami, the dude, the pharaoh that took over Yugi, he was a fucking gangster. Like he did not, when he came out, it was showtime. He did not fuck around. He
Every
damn near
time.
killed somebody. And he was like,
In a card game?
Yeah.
yeah, he did.
Damn.
Hey, Rob, you played Dungeons and Dragons growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets real out here in these streets.
I guess so,
fucking
shit.
die for this shit.
Because how it was, he had.
That was so funny. The card game?
Over a card game? Like, I played some Magic the Gathering, but nobody got killed over that shit. Like,
Because how they did it was they was
you
feeling
never
like
know.
they was taking the hit points for real. Like that's how they was taking like when the monster hit him. And
I
then
gotcha.
he brought him to 0, but he was like, fuck it. And he just kept letting the dragon like whoop his ass. And they was like, this girl had to come and be like, Yugi, stop. And he was like, oh shit. He's like, he's dead already.
all right. Well, so they get this offer from Montauk, and they're just like, all right, well, let's circle the wagons and figure out what we're gonna do about this, and they're gonna have a meeting with him
Rob
later.
has been dropping bars. Circle the wagons.
That's a business. We're gonna circle back on this. Take a view from 10,000 feet up. All those businessman sort of phrases. But back on Gallahorn, Galeo and Ein are getting their suits patched back up. Galeo's just like, shit, like I didn't think they were gonna have 2 of those Gundams. Next time we'll be better suited for it. We learn a little bit more about Ein here, about why he liked Crank so much. Turns out his dad was, a high commander within Gallahorn. His mom was from Mars, and the fact that he's half Martian is the reason that like everybody looked down on him. And he's
a
just
half breed, man.
Yeah, he was like, Crank was the only dude that gave me the chance, So it's understandable why he would be pissed that Tekkadan had killed him, like the one person that had been nice to him his whole life. It seems like that kind of resonates with Galileo, or Galileo. He's just like, oh shit, like, all right, like I get it now a little bit more. But he gives him some he backs him up too, like finding out that he's Martian. Like, Galeo's kind of shitty, but at the same time, like for all, selling out his 9-year-old sister to like his weird like frat brother or whatever. But he's at least not like looking down on Ein for being Martian. He's just like, nah, man, like just do your thing. Like you do the work out there. So why wouldn't I respect you?
Right.
But back on the Tekadon side of things, they're finally meeting with this guy from Montag, and then we find out a little bit more about that half metal stuff that Brennan had been talking about earlier. He's just like, listen, Nobilis and McMurdo have like kind of teamed up together to get on these half metal rights. I want to help you guys out too because I want to get in on that shit. I'll even give you some free missiles, stuff like that. All I want is a right to get to some of that mining stuff when this is all kind of settled and hopefully the revolution has won. And Kudelia wants to think about it. And he's just like, well, you don't have much time. So think quick. And so they split up, and as they're leaving the meeting, some of the guys in Tekken are just like, well, shit, like McMurdo is teaming up with Gordon at this point, and Orga's just like, man, like we just don't. He's like, we're not on their level yet, and he's like, I want to get bigger because right now we're just kind of like running around the ankles of these guys and they're just basically feeding us scraps.
Your children.
Yeah. He sees just like, all right, like they are keeping us out of some shit because they don't think we need to know. So he's like, I want to be able to like grow our organization to a point where, they have to rope us in, they have to bring us in on this shit too.
But they acknowledge him because a couple episodes back, FaZe, what's his name? The dude in the whites, the dude with all the women. What's his name?
Naze.
Naze.
Yeah.
He was like, damn, I can't rock with these dudes. Like, these dudes are fucking strong. And then the lady came up and was like, yeah, like, they got it. Don't worry about it. Like, they can handle their own. So, I mean, they respect them. They know that,
Naze... Yeah, Naze certainly sees these guys as an equal. I mean, when he brought them in, he's just like, yo, 50-50. 50-50 split with these guys. And it was McMurdo that was like, I don't think so. So it's the overall boss of Taiwas. It's just not quite sold on them yet. But as they're leaving that meeting and talking about it, they run into that guy from Montag in the hallway, and Mikazuki's immediately like, hey, Chocolate guy.
Yeah, I love Mikazuki, bro. Mikazuki is not about like he just senses it. It's like y'all can't tell who this is. That's the chocolate guy.
I think he has the ultimate street smarts. Like you're not getting past him on some slick shit.
No.
Yeah.
He's gonna recognize it. He might not even say nothing right there, but he gonna catch up on it.
He's no Mugen.
No. And McGillis, he's just like, yeah, you got me. And he tells them a version of his plans. I don't think that this is everything that McMillis has going on. I think he's keeping some things close to the vest, but he tells them, listen, I'm not super happy with the way Gjallarhorn is right now either. To be honest with you, I'd kind of like to reform it from the inside out. And he's hinted a little bit about this, that he thinks some of the older guard within Gjallarhorn have gotten like old and corrupt. And he thinks that, some fresh blood can bring them to a more honorable way of working. So maybe they don't do these sort of massacre things. We'll see if he really means that, I guess. But at least for now, he wants to team up with Tekadon to help overthrow the current leadership within Gjallarhorn. And he's like, listen, we can work together, but this deal will go away if you tell anybody about what we just talked about. And so the rest of Tekadon is kind of like, all right, well, we got to keep a lid on that for now. But as they're basically, repairing stuff, getting everything back together, Atra finds Kudelia, kind of like off on the bridge. Kudelia's like working hard, trying to make this shit work. She's like passing out, not eating, because she's feeling like she has to keep going and pushing through to be useful. And Atra is kind of like, hey, listen, like you got to take your time. Sometimes you got to sit down and like let it out. And Mikazuki ends up being there as well. We get some sister wife thing going on, on here. She's just Mikazuki, comfort her and also comfort me. And like,
it was like she was like, I'm going to join the revolution too. And he starts crying. You know what you're supposed to do when a girl cries? Boy, you're supposed to comfort her. So he's like, he don't even know how to hug you. He just goes over there and starts patting her on the head. All right.
That's a very Japanese thing, the head pat. Like, it seems like it's a very big deal. Like a huge sign.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, like in almost any anime, it's like, that's like a sign of acknowledgement, like, in like, I acknowledge you and I'm also like, take you under my care or something like that. Like the head pat. It's like a big deal.
Which is mad disrespectful in America.
Yeah.
It would be.
Yeah. Well, what's hilarious on my head, I'm fighting.
Yeah, I might fire her immediately. But it was funny. It was like he looked at her. It was kind of like, because men know how to. Some men take advantage of women when they're vulnerable. And this is a vulnerable moment. I just saw him going like, kiss. Yeah, just Just make out right now in front of me. It's the life.
I was a little bit, like he's just like, now kiss.
Yeah.
No, slower.
There you go.
Like, damn, it's turning up very fast.
But this is old girl's fantasy. This is what she's pictured right here, where they're both in his arms together, and this is the life. Because the next scene, she is fucking happy.
Yeah,
she's living on cloud 9 at this point. Yeah. But Kudelia goes to meet with Orga and Naze, and the episode ends with her saying, like, all right, like, we'll team up with Montag. We'll take them up on the offer. We'll let them help us get down to Earth. So they've made another handshake deal with another weird, like, shadowy organization, and we'll see if it works out for them. But the next episode, they're bringing in all of the stuff from Montag, the missiles and the weaponry, and the old man, I think, had a really smart line. He's just like, sometimes the most expensive gifts are the free ones, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, he's just like, yeah, he's just like, I'm not really sold on this whole Montag thing. Like, you know, this could end up costing us a lot more in the long run. But meanwhile, it seems like they have worked out a plan of what they're going to do, because Eugene is like stressing out hard about like his role in this upcoming battle. He's talking with Shino, I think, about it. Just like, I really want to make sure I step up to Orga's level. And then Shino's just like, dude, don't worry about it. We know you're fuck up. Like,
that
if
was
you fuck
so
it up, we'll just be like,
funny. That was the worst
man,
advice
like, that's
I've
just
ever
Eugene.
Heard. The worst advice I've ever heard. Like, yo, man, I'm worried about, like, all of our lives are counting on me. I'm really concerned. I don't want to mess it up. And he's like, dude, don't worry about it. We know you, man. You always mess up. If we die, we die. We understood. We put it in your hands. Like,
yeah.
It's like, wait, what? Like, I would have been like, nah, fam.
That's the most backhanded compliment I've ever heard.
Yeah. But funny enough, too, like Orga, in many situations where the shit has been on the line, he's turned to Eugene to be like, "You're the one that has to pilot this ship right now. Like, it is on you.
You are
like,
the captain now."
He's been put in at vital moments and has so far done well. So I don't know exactly what he's freaking out about, but you know, everybody just wants to contribute in their own way to this revolution. Meanwhile, with the Galahorn people, we kind of meet some new characters here of like the in orbit defense of Galahorn. This lady named Karta Issues. She's a captain of the orbital fleet, and we had actually heard a little bit about her just kind of in passing in the previous episode when Galeo's just like, shit, like if we want to keep going after Tekadon, I'm gonna have to like reach out to that lady, and this is where we meet her, and she's just like calling out Kudelia, just like, man, I hope they show up. Like, we have this whole blockade ready for him. Like, we're gonna squash these dudes. We're gonna kill them.
Yeah,
and Galeo kind of he calls up and just like, hey, like, can I get involved? And she begrudgingly like lets him get involved.
She was like, I
seems
heard
like they've
that
got a history together. And we find out shortly after
she was just
they
like,
hang up.
It felt like she was in the locker room
yeah, like we all grew up together.
The whole episode where she was just
and
like,
it turns out that they have like a rivalry
they think
situation.
we're just figureheads.
But
let us show them what
Karta had a huge crush on McGillis.
And she also was really weird.
Whoop, did I get disconnected?
Yeah.
Oh, Rob Freeze. Well, I'm talking about how weird she was, because the people behind her, like the guys behind her, when she's like, "Yo, let's get it in, let's be ready, let's do this." Like they said her name and like all this stuff in unison, and she's like, "Yo, back left, right, like back left, third to the back." You was a little late on that. Oh, sorry, man. Like she's like she's an authoritarian all day.
She won't.
She is.
Smoke. She out there.
Yeah, I got kicked out for a sec. I don't know what I missed.
I was just talking about.
You good, Rob?
I was just talking about how ready she was.
We're wrapping up now.
Right.
No, that's all. That's it. All right, we're good. I give this episode a ranking. No, I'm kidding. But so yeah, just to pick up kind of where off of that, like we find out after they hang up, Galeo's kind of turning to Aina and is just like, yeah, we grew up together, like her and McGillis, and like she had a huge crush on McGillis. So the reason she's so pissed off that he's engaged to my sister is that like, well, she wants to be engaged to him. That was very clear. To me.
She said you engaged to somebody that's like a bedwetter or something like that, or something.
Yeah.
She said something like that. It's like, yeah, you. He engaged to a 9-year-old. He can get a full-grown woman.
Yeah, that's sick too. Because I didn't really know that she had an older sister. So you have an option right there,
bro. He was like, nah, she ain't pure enough.
I don't know. It's a weird decision on McGillis. That's why I'm like, I don't know about this guy.
You know that changes. Not that it changed everything. You were still sick to begin with, because it's like, okay, we can not give you that, but it's like, all right, the family stuff, cool. But then it's like, there is another option right there that's your age. Why do you do that? Like,
And the brother's sick because he could have been like, "No, I'm messing with my younger sister. I'm a fire her. You got to take my older sister or nothing."
Or nothing. Yeah.
Low key, I think he likes him too.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he might.
That's a possibility.
Low key, I'm just saying.
Could be.
Strong.
Could be.
He's a strong leader.
But Tekadon does end up charging the blockade shortly after that, with Eugene driving the ship, and they got a smart idea. They're using the old brewer ship basically as a battering ram ahead of them to like eat up all of the fire as like, you know, as Karta's like blockade is unloading on them, like that other brewer ship is taking all the damage for them. And he's actually, Eugene is hooked up to the ship through his like the AVS system or whatever it's called. And he hooks into both ships at the same time and is piloting them both. And he's, again, just like Akihiro and Mikazuki, he's bleeding from the nose, like from all the crazy, you know, data that is coming in. But he manages to pilot around the blockade. They release this like crazy smoke screen with, you know, this like kind of sparkly like mirror stuff that seems to totally take out
It's called chaff.
Yeah, it's like they're targeting computers or something like that.
Well, yeah,
like it's
what chaff does, like so.
We talked about this in Cowboy Bebop, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, so we did. Chaff is pretty much what it does is it messes up computer systems, it messes up computer systems normally because like in modern day warfare, the way that chaff works is that missiles have heat-seeking capabilities, and so what the chaff will do is throw off a higher heat signature than the engines of the plane. So the idea that chaff works on like traditional systems, like how it does now, is what you do is you cut your jet engine and then you throw chaff, so that the missiles go after the chaff and your engine is cooler than everything else around it. So it's like the last thing it's going to hit. In this instance, it's like also electromagnetic interference. So it's like, hey, like we can't see, we can't communicate, we can't do anything because they threw this chaff. They filled that ship pretty much with chaff. They let them blow it up, and then it just blew up all around them. So they can't communicate with each other, and they can't see what the main Tekkadan ship is doing.
EMP.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a mini EMP.
Yeah. So the Isarabi peels off and goes back off into space while the mobile suits are trying to protect the shuttle that's on its way down to Earth.
Was this when that dude hopped in the thing? I forgot when this was, but he hopped in the Gundam. And
I think this might have been earlier. I might have missed it.
He
Yeah,
fucked himself up, and it's like, bro, get your ass out this goddamn Gundam. Like,
yeah. I think that was the fight on the Dorts because Mikazuki wasn't there to pilot his Gundam, and this guy was like, "Well, let me get in there," and they were like, "What are you doing?"
Bro, it's not. It ain't linked to you yet, bro.
He hopped in. He was like, "That's Mizuzuki." He's like, "What are you?" He's like, he was fucked up. Like,
yeah, his brain melted.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Get your ass out of this Gundam.
Yeah, man. But they do have the mobile suits get scrambled, and they even have some of the turbines are out there helping them in some alternate mobile suit skins, I guess they have, because they can't be out there like, oh, if they recognize our Gundams or not our Gundams, but our mobile suits, then you know then Taiwaz will be in jeopardy. But so there's a fight going on with the Tekkadan suits and the Galahorn suits, and Galeo and Ein get out there on the battlefield as well. It's basically round 2, that same fight that had just happened like a few episodes earlier. And Mikazuki and Galeo end up in a similar position where Mikazuki kind of baits him into stabbing him to get him close and is about to like end his life when Ein swoops in right in the middle of it, and that dude got fucking squashed. Yeah. Like, Mikazuki fucked his life up. Yeah. He got very badly wounded, and Galeo just like kind of grabs his little pod and kind of takes him out of there to try and save his life. Meanwhile, the rest of the Galahorn stuff starts to peel off. Like, we can't keep this fight going because they're about to enter Earth's atmosphere, and we're all going to heat up and like get burned up in that. Yeah. But as one guy is like continuing to go in, just like fuck it, like we got to try to take him out, and Mikazuki he breaks off from the rest and and fucking destroys that dude too, and then like surfs his fucking body. Yeah. Down to the surface.
No, so like hold on a second. Let's like you can't just.
I mean,
you just skipped a lot right there just to get to that. But yeah, he kills the shit out of them because they're entering Earth's atmosphere, and now it's like all the other Gundams that were with Tekken and jump on the top of the reentry I think that was the plan, was jump on the top of the reentry ship so that they don't have to deal with the heat, because it has a heat shield on the bottom of it.
Oh boy was there too. Little the dude, I forgot his name, but the dude married to a little 9-year-old. Remember they were like back to back.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Oh, Chocolate Man, you're here. You're pretty fast. I knew your speed or whatever like that. And he's like, we need you still. So get the fuck up out of here. I'm gonna handle it this way. And then
he shows up for like a second.
yeah, he smashed this dude though. He smashed this motherfucker. And this dude, I mean, he died. I guess he died with pride. He died very angry.
He had that.
Yeah. And then he Beyonce surfboard his ass down to fucking planet Earth, bro.
Hell yeah, he fucking Silver Surfered his ass.
He did.
Yeah, he
did. Everybody thought Mikazuki was gonna die. They were just like, well, he's like, how is he gonna survive the reentry? He doesn't have the thrusting capacity to break out of the gravitational pull of Earth. He's just gonna die. And
they put the window, they put the little things in the plane up, or whatever that they're on the ship, so they can't even see what's happening. And they got it. But the whole time, Mikazuki not worried,
straight face.
He didn't even flinch.
He didn't budge, bro.
I feel like some of the best anime characters or main characters are on opposite ends of the spectrum. You either have your Gokus, your Naruto's. That's like, everybody be my friend. I love everybody.
Silly,
and then you got the Mizuzukis, the mobs, the One Punch Man. I mean the Satayamas. Like either or. Like I feel like those are the best ones. Either they don't care about nothing or they care about everything.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's true.
After he killed this dude, I realized that Mikazuki is a murderer. Like he's a cold.
You just realizing this?
No, it just came into like, all right, he's officially like he is a fucking murderer.
He enjoys this shit, just like Thorfinn. Thorfinn's the other thing. Like they liked it. Like they want that shit. They have a bloodlust.
Yeah, he has, at least with Thorfinn, he has emotion. This dude has no emotion. He will murder your whole family and be like, okay, I think it's a good time to go eat something now. Yeah. Like he don't care. He's a murderer, bro. And it's like, And I don't know why I like him. It's not because he's a murderer. Maybe it's because I do like his kind of even keel personality. You know, that's my type of characters, anyways. Yeah, like Bob. But it's just like, he's officially a fucking murderer in my mind.
I mean, true, because like that, even during that scene, like while he's going down and everybody's worried about him, and even he's not sure whether he's going to make it or not, he has a quick flashback again to that scene with him and Orga in the alleyway, and that memory he keeps going back to, looking back on so fondly. He's literally got his face covered in blood, a gun with an empty clip in his hand, and a dude laying in his own blood at the end of the alleyway with like a bunch of like crumpled up dollars in his hand. Like this guy's been murdering people. Yeah. And he's just like, where are we going to go to next? But that memory is important to him because Orga's like, I'm going to take you someplace where we've got like a warm bed. You're going to see things you've never seen before. Like, we're going to find a home. And it's with that in mind that he's just like, Barbados, like, do you want to see those things too? Like, let's do this.
Barbados,
they write that shit down.
As Ice would say, Barbados is with the shits.
Yeah.
He is. And they get down to the Earth, and he sees the moon for the first time, which is where he gets his name from. I'm not sure if it means specifically crescent moon, but that's what apparently Earth has now permanently because the moon has been fucked up, just kind of like in Cowboy Bebop. A giant moon explosion happened at some point during the Calamity Wars.
That's Calamity Wars, man. I want to see the anime of the Calamity Wars.
That'd be crazy. That'd be
just
crazy.
Like a fucking Bebop. Like, what the fuck happened on Titan? Like, let me see that shit.
Right?
Yeah, right. But the next episode, the last episode that we watched for this run, is them kind of getting settled on Earth. So Tekidon is, unloading all their stuff, repairing the Gundams, and they get reached out to by this particular representative of Earth, this guy whose name is Makanai. And we had seen him actually a couple episodes earlier. I didn't mention him, but he was super excited that Gudelia was coming to Earth. He was getting like hammered. And his guy's like, hey, you're drinking a little much. He's like, well, it's time to celebrate. Gudelia is coming down here and we're going to meet up and like, this is going to change my life. And
he said, I'm like a princess waiting for her Prince Charming. I was like, what? I was like, you're too,
hey man.
You're too on.
I think he had a good macro view. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, he certainly knows that he isn't shit right now. So Galahorn on the other side, they're trying to recover from what happened. Galeo is like pleading with some doctors, to to save Ein's life, who is, I mean, he's on death's door. The guy's just like, dude, everything is shutting down. Like the only thing that we could possibly do that might save him is to give him that AVS system, which Ein had been talking about getting a couple of episodes previously, and Galeo said, no, don't do it. It's not natural. Like it's not a good thing for you to do. But now it seems like it might be the only thing that can save his life. And it's actually McGillis who gets on the line with him and is just like, dude, you got to do that shit. Like Gallahorn put it out there that it was dangerous and unnatural because we didn't want people using that technology against us. Like it's all been kind of, I mean, obviously the surgery is dangerous. Like the kids from Tekadon know other kids that have died getting it, but he says it's not like an unnatural thing. But this is, to me, I'm just like, what is McGillis's drive here? You know what I mean? Like if he's still on the up and up with Tekadon, why is he telling his buddy to get one of their main pilots one of these AVS systems? You know what I mean? So I'm not exactly sure what his motivation or what his play is there.
Quick question: who's your favorite Ein? The dog from Cowboy Bebop or this one?
This one. I'll go with this one. Yeah, I'll go with it. It has to be this one.
I think maybe this one.
Yeah, that dog was trash, yo. He pulled another. They brought him in like he gonna do something. He had one little moment out of. 20,
he had like 2 episodes.
No, he had two moments. He had two moments
out of 27 episodes. Data dog, so sacred.
They could have used him for so much shit as a data dog and made him dope, and they made him trash.
And his one thing was in a fucking filler episode, one of them. So it's like that don't even count.
Yeah.
I don't know. But back on Earth with Tekadon, they're meeting up with that Makanai guy who is kind of telling them like, hey, you guys were successful. Like the negotiations on the Dorts worked. Like they got everything. Like you are now officially like the famous face of the revolution because you made this happen. And the bunch of the federations down on Earth are super happy about that because it's basically going to be able to, it's going to help with economic shit that everybody benefits from. So that really helps the people on Earth and hurts the people on that work for Gallahorn. So this is a big deal. But he wants them to help him get elected as prime minister of one of the other, areas of Earth. The I forget the name of it. What is it? The Arbrow sector or whatever. But he wants their help to do that. The only twist is that he's been exiled from that that realm of the Earth, and he has no power to help them. And everybody, pretty rightfully so, is pissed at this point because now they worked and died to get Kudelia to Earth, only to find out that the person that she's meeting up with
has no
can't
power.
do shit for them.
He's a powerless figurehead.
Yo, bro, somebody should at least smack the shit out of him once.
Oh yeah. You get stomped out. You gotta get stomped out.
We gonna jump you real quick. We gotta stomp you out real quick.
Yeah, this is just on principle, guys. Just like we're not gonna kill you.
Just off GP, bro. We gotta jump you for this.
Yeah.
It's like I gotta get off this aggression or I'm gonna bottle it up and end up killing you later. So.
Like no, I could just see Orga like saying like, "Hey man, look, I'm gonna have to hit you in the face." And he's like, "What is that?" Like, "Hey, look, man, it's not like a personal thing or whatever, man, but like my people here." You know what I'm saying? Like, I brought us all from Mars. You know what I'm saying? They kind of expect this. And I can't just not do something after you come disrespectful at Tekada. I don't know if you saw this signal. Look, I'll give you a jacket afterwards. All I'm saying is, like you should brace yourself right now.
You got your ass whooped.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it could have gone that way. Like, I don't think Kudelia would have stopped him. Marabit may have been a little pissed about it, but like, what ends up stopping him, I think, from doing something like that is he does say, well, my connections here are basically keeping you safe from Gallahorn, and they have your people up on their ship. It would certainly be a shame, if anything were to happen to them, like, and he even says, like, are you threatening me? And he's like, listen, man, I don't want to have to do anything, but I gotta play my cards, the cards that I got.
Yep.
You a bitch ass dude.
So at that point, Tekadon kind of gets together and they're just like, all right, what are we going to do next? Technically, we've completed the job. Like, Kudelia's like, you guys did what you promised to do, what I paid you to do. You got me here. I'm going to go do my thing. You guys can go off and do your thing. But the truth of the matter is they're kind of stuck on Earth. Like, the people that want to kill them are literally just a few miles above them in the atmosphere, just hoping they come up for air,
I wish you would.
I wish you would. So they're kind of stuck there anyway. And so Orga is faced with the decision of like, well, do we throw in with this dude or do we try to work something out where we get back to Mars? And he's having a conversation with Biscuit about it. And it turns out that for the first time ever, Biscuit's like, I think we should quit, man. I think we got like as many wins as we can out of this. We should head back. And Orga's just like, listen, we accomplished this mission, but this will get us some fame for a little while, but eventually we'll peter out. You know, this will only get us so far, and then we'll be back where we were, and nobody will want to work with us, and people will take advantage of us. But Biscuits just wants people to be safe. You know, he's just like, we've lost lives. Like, what are we continuing to fight for? Like, if we keep risking things, like maybe we've just been lucky. You know, who's to say that this continues as good as it has been? And they fight, and Biscuit is just like, if this is where you want to go with Tekkanon, I might have to quit. And he walks away. And this shakes. Yeah, go ahead.
This just reminded me of the Jada Smith Karate Kid when he was like, I hate it here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore.
But he had his reasoning. We find out he has his reasoning for.
He did. He did. Because he finds out he got a message from the Dork colonies. His brother, who had been working with, even though the negotiations went well, a lot of people he knew died. A lot of people from their neighborhood died, just like he said they would, if this got involved. And he couldn't live with it. And he ends up hanging himself. And this hits with Biscuit hard because you can basically trace that back right to Biscuit telling him, like, I'm in a gang now. Like, I'm done with this. And, like, getting on the truck and pulling out. Yeah, and so he feels bad. He's just like, yeah, like he's lost a lot. He knows he's got more family that could also die from this. I'm sure he's feeling homesick. You know, he's got his sisters and his grandmother back on Mars too. There's a couple scenes here where, you know, people have some heart to heart. Biscuit talks with the old man, and the old man's just like, listen, we're all here because of everybody. Luck has nothing to do with it. We're here because of what Orga's done. We're here because of what you've done. Like, if you leave, like, there's, you know, who knows? That could be worse for us than if you had stayed, and we continued down this path. Something else bad could happen. You know, we've been a good team because of everybody that's involved. Meanwhile, Maribit is telling Orga, you know, hey, it's clear that, you know, Biscuit was the person that was backing you up most of the time, and, you know, you need to, you know, kind of secure yourself in your leadership, not worry so much about that. Like, you got to make the decisions you got to make, and the people that will be there for you will be there for you. But before he can really come to too much of a decision, they get a call from the Makanai guy that's been housing them. And he's just like, hey, listen, so remember how I said that, you know, we were all protecting you? Well, the people that were protecting you are like going to hand you over to Galhorn now. Sorry. Yeah. Just pulled some strings, and they're all just like, what the fuck? Like, why are we here?
Yeah.
But the person that made the call for them to be handed over is Karta, and she seems to be hot on their tails. And where we'll pick up next time is how, I guess, what the Oceania people decide to do with Tekkanon, and if they decide to hand him over or not. Yeah,
there's a part that you missed that I thought was funny, and I think
go ahead.
Maybe you relate to this, Rob, with your relationship too. When they were eating at dinner. And old girl made fish, and she was like, "Here, I made you some fish." And he's like, "Nah, I'm good." And she was like, and she's like, "Bro, have you ever you know, like eaten and then came home and your girl, your fiance cooked, and she's like, oh, I'm full already, babe." And she's like, "I made dinner." Well, I already,
100%
dinner. Yeah. And you just had to fucking eat regardless.
Yeah. You better find some room.
Oh. You better find it. That shit cracked me up because they were afraid to eat fish. And and fish ain't the meal that I would present to somebody brand new to Earth. I mean, that ain't the go-to meal. I was like,
there's so many other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. They gave him like the fish ropes course too, where just like bone in, like they still got their face on there. Like, not like a
I don't even like
or
eating
anything
fish like that. Like,
me either, yeah.
And I don't know about y'all, but I'm from Earth.
Yeah. Exactly. Rob, what do you think? What is your opinion on and your rating for this these 5?
So I liked this stretch of episodes. I don't know if I liked them quite as much as the last stretch. What I do like about this show and what I think about a lot watching, I don't know, did you guys ever play Fable 3. I think it was on like the Xbox 360.
Yeah, I played the first two. I didn't play the third one.
The third one, I thought the third one was super cool because like you were this exiled prince that like you were trying to overthrow like your evil brother, and so you have to like make all these handshake deals with all these people that are going to help you like overthrow the throne, and then like you think that's the game, but it's really like halfway through, and then when you overthrow the throne, you figure out like, oh shit, now I gotta make either keep these deals or break these deals, and what does that do to the relationships I've already made, and like. But that's very much what this show is doing, where they're having to make a lot of handshake deals that like that bill's going to come due later on. And it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to keep all the promises they've made, because as much as the old man was right when he's just like, it's not just luck, it's all of us that have gotten us this far. There's also been a lot of people that have helped them along the way that they owe a favor to, that are some pretty sketchy people. You know? So I liked this stretch of episodes, not necessarily for what happened in this stretch of episodes, but what it could mean for them later on. So that being said, I would give this stretch, I'll give it a 6,000.
6,000. I'll go next. For me, I like this stretch also. This anime is growing on me more and more, and not because the action is the action when it happens to me I enjoy it, but it's not still up to par to the action that I would like. But I think what's crazy about this is that it's speaking to the times that we're in now. I think it's so much stuff going on. You see the classism in there. You're seeing different type of things. You're seeing characters with different character developments. The show is just developing in its own. So it's. The way it's been paced is a little probably slower for my liking, but it's still cool. I would actually give these stretch of episodes 68, 6,900.
What?
Oh, here's Ice at the 2,000.
I mean, Ice, where are you at? You're next.
I mean, I feel like I feel like I Rob and Keenan feel. I just don't think my score is that high. I think
your score is never that high, Rob.
I mean, it is. I'm not gonna go in that conversation. We've already proven that I give high scores. And speaking of high scores, one of the shows that I gave 8,000, Gurren Lagann. This kind of shows that, because like Gurren Lagann, you think it's gonna be. It's kind of like the Fable 3 metaphor that you made. It's like you get halfway through the anime and you think that's it. Like, what are they get what they're fighting for, then it's a whole back half of the anime that they have to deal with the repercussions of that. I'm right there with you with that piece. I like that they're doing that. I finally start caring about the characters. I think that's like the last stretch of episodes and this stretch of episodes has, especially people like Biscuit and Ian, and even people on the other side like Ian and stuff. Like, I don't give a fuck about Galeo and all of them, but like, you get to, like, you see where everybody's coming from. It's like, okay, like when these people start to die, which I'm sure they will, based off of how the show is progressing. It's like, all right, cool. Like, it's gonna suck when they die. So for me, in this stretch of episodes, I think the strongest was still the previous 5, but this wasn't no slouch and it wasn't super far behind. So I give these stretch of episodes a 6,000.
Okay. What you actually made, that's really funny that you say Gurren Lagann, Ice, because the show that I watched directly after this show is Gurren Lagann. So yeah, a lot of emotion.
Amazing anime.
Yeah, a lot of emotions between the two of them, though. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like,
facts.
They're both extremely emotional.
That's
anime.
tough to follow up after this one too.
No, it was not a good. If I could go back in time, I would have put some like Kill la Kill or something in between here, like Mob Psycho would be the perfect anime to watch in between this. Actually, so I mean, super random emotional thought is what I did when I was watching. What is the name of the show? It's the one with the Orphans.
No Promise in Neverland.
Yeah, that one. So No Promise in Neverland was so emotional and sad to me that I had to I watched Mob Psycho season 2 in between each episode because it was like super sad, super funny, super sad, super funny. But yeah, I mean, this is again, this show is doing a really good job of building itself, building the characters, as Ice pointed out, is that you're invested in a lot of the characters now. Like, we know a lot about them. We're learning a lot about a lot of their histories. We know about the world. We understand Galahorn now and what it is to the world, and how there is more than one world. There's Mars, there's the colonies, there's asteroids, there's pirates, and there's Earth. And we also learned about Cordelia. We lost Futuma. But I mean, nobody really I don't think anybody was broken up about that.
Get her out of here.
Yeah, I mean, she went out like a G. Like, her last act was a redeeming act. I think Rob and Ice called out that she was shady from the beginning. Yeah. But, you know, shady to a line, you know, because when it really came down to, like, the time to be the shady person, she was the opposite.
When you jump, I don't know if you can help me with this because my degree isn't in anything. Well, I mean, no, Brennan, we have the same degree, but you're usually good about this stuff. It's like, can you really jump in front of a bullet? Like, I was thinking that when I was watching that, and it just made me think of, like, so many movies, animes, all that. Like, people be jumping in front of bullets, but it's like it's a fucking bullet, yo. Like,
I mean, I don't know how my political science degree would help with this.
That's what I said. But you usually, that's why I said we have the same, because I was like, wait, we have the same degree. But it's like, you always be talking about, like, well,
it's physics. It depends. I mean, the thing is, that's a hard question to answer. So I'd say that, like, I think what she did was feasible in the sense of, like, she knew she was about to get shot. She knew it because she was the one who upset it up. So she didn't know where the bullet necessarily was coming from. She just jumped and covered the woman's body. So that's kind of like what, like, the Secret Service is trained to do. They're like, we don't know where anybody's shooting from. The president's in trouble. They just cover the person with their body. So
I'll say this about that though. Because you're not wrong. She's got some damn good timing to make that shit work. Yeah. Number one. Yeah. But number two, kind of to bring it back to what you were saying earlier, Keenan, about how it reminded you of JFK. In the JFK shooting, one of the bullets that hit JFK in the back of the head came out the front and then went into the leg of the governor of Texas that was sitting in front of him.
So that's actually what I was about to say.
Oh, no kidding.
No, I was just about to say is that the other side of it is depending on the caliber of the gun and what kind of bullet they were shooting. If that was a hollow point, then yeah, it's going to stop in Futima's body. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what hollow point's designed to do. But if it's just a solid bullet, it's going to go through Futima's body and it's going to go straight to Cordelia. So you have to imagine that's probably a hollow point gun because what it looked like, I'm just, you know, obviously it's a cartoon, but from the way that it looked, the wound looked like on her back is that her the wound on her back looked like anime. I'm sorry. God, that was really funny actually, Keenan. But the way the wound looked on her back, it looked like the bullet exploded. Because it was a big gaping wound. It wasn't just like normally if it's like if it's just a bullet, then you just see like a little hole and then that hole just is blood. But like her whole shirt was all messed up and everything like that. So it looked like it was a hollow point. So if that's the case, then yeah, you can do that. But if it's the other kind of bullet, like actual JFK
like
bullet,
like a 50 cal that'll destroy, decimate everything.
Well, I mean, the thing is, there's different types of 50 cal bullets, though. That's what I'm saying. So it's like you can have just like with a shotgun, you can have like the pellets, you can have a slug. You know what I'm saying? A spray. Like you can have different type of bullets per gun. So it just depends on what kind of gun and what kind of bullets you have. But it looks like they're making this seem like a hollow point out of a rifle, which you normally actually don't see very often. But a hollow point out of a rifle. And that makes it almost feasible, but not necessarily likely.
Well, Cordelia had the most important thing for her to have, and that is plot armor in that particular situation. She cannot die or else the show's over. So
I don't know why I hate you for that, Rob. I don't know why I hate you for that.
The funniest development recently in anime is the whole plot armor like thing. I think that shit is hilarious.
Yeah.
I hate you for that, Rob.
So what was your rating?
Oh, my rating is 6,500.
500.
Cool.
6,500 just because the biggest reason is because in this stretch of episodes there were a couple fights, but they were probably the worst fights in the whole show. Just because like they were just, you know, it's like, yeah, they never truly fought. It's always just like, oh, we got to hold them off, or like some like minor characters got killed. It was never like, yo, like it's me versus you. One of us got to go. I know who you are. You know who I am. Everybody, we're integral in the plot. But obviously, we got the last 5 episodes of the season coming up. There's going to be some real hands thrown. Like I think that's overstood.
Because they got to get after it. There's 5 episodes, and they still got a lot of loose ends. So
yeah, well, there's a second season. There's a second season too.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So this I was about to say, I don't think this show is going to hit the peak that I wanted to hit because they do have a second season that's coming, and stuff is, I'm sure, going to be saved for that. So I'm not expecting these last 5 episodes to be amazing, because they have a season 2 to lean on too. But
I'm just saying, like that argument. I don't know about that argument, Keenan. Like we just saw the last couple episodes, My Hero Academia. Would you say they were amazing?
This is not going to reset. It's not going to do that. I don't have to watch the next 5 on purpose to know this is not going to even hit that type of this. My Hero does something different animation wise. But anyways,
shameless plug. Keenan and I did a bonus episode that is of We reviewed the entire season 4 of My Hero Academia because it just
is it up now already? Did Tony V put it up already? Or?
Yeah, it went up today actually.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so make sure y'all check that out. Today, when this drops, will be I don't know when.
It'll be a few days. Yeah. We live in the future.
If you're listening to this, go check out the other episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you haven't already, but let us know what y'all think in the comment section, man. Out of these episodes 16 through 20, what was y'all rating out of 0 out of a 9,000? And would you even be willing to watch the season 2 of this? How this is going so far?
Yes.
Is season 2 it? That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
I feel like that's it. Oh, I thought there was another season after.
No, there's no season after season 2.
Oh, okay. I'm guessing there can't be.
There could be.
Let me know.
There could be.
Let me know. Let me know after this, Brandon. If you watched it, you can go ahead and spoil it for me. Anyways, go ahead and drop your stuff, Ice.
Ice.McGowan.
Brandon.
Mr. Producer Face on the gram.
Rob.
Harvey Danger on Instagram.
And I'm Keenan Baker on everything on Instagram. And follow the Animation Podcast on every single thing. Subscribe to the YouTube page for the Animation Podcast. Subscribe to the Instagram Animation Podcast. Subscribe to everything on the Animation Podcast. And
Are y'all watching anything else?
I'm watching Mob Psycho Season 2 right now.
Too.
And then I'm watching Yu Yu Hakusho Season 2.
Y'all watching any real TV?
I'm watching. I just
Tiger
started
King.
Ozark.
Human beings?
I watched it. I started watching the Tiger show. Tiger King.
Yeah, Tiger King is fucking wild.
Yo,
man.
that show is
Carol
crazy.
Baskin.
Yeah.
That bitch Carol Baskin.
I finished Tiger King already, and I'm watching Godfather of Harlem right now.
That's what I want to
Oh,
watch.
cool.
I want to watch that. I've been watching Devs. I really like that show.
Yeah. Godfather
Oh
of
yeah,
Harlem,
you
bro.
recommended that.
Yeah. When you watch Godfather of Harlem, it's one of those things. We got to like episode 3 or 4, and we didn't even realize we're just rolling through episodes this quickly. We were just like, oh shit, we're on episode 8 or whatever. So like,
damn.
yeah, it's,
What is
it's
that
good,
on?
man. It's on Epics.
Do you,
So you
is
got
it
it.
on the app?
Yeah, it's on the app. So it's like
Okay.
somebody hooked me up. So it's not. Yeah. It's,
Okay, you gotta
somebody.
supply your cable. It's an Amazon link.
No, you don't gotta.
I hate you.
I mean,
Ice.
I think if you got like a Fire Stick or whatever like that, you
Yeah.
can watch anything. But and there's other Amazon links I can probably provide you with if you need it.
Dope.
But yeah, man. So thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Animeshun.